Hello, everyone. This is Mentor Tooba, and I am back with the explanation of another PMP scenario. Here's a scenario in front of you. Let me first read out, and then we will discuss. At a sprint review meeting, the project manager learns about the unclear requirements that may impact the project's scheduled completion. The project sponsor wants to meet the original deadline. How should the project manager approach the issue using agile practices? So in this scenario, some important terminologies to consider is, first of all, there are some unclear requirements, very important thing. Then these unclear requirements may impact the project completion with respect to schedule, and the sponsor is not aligned in changing the project completion date. And the question is asking that you address this situation as a project manager using agile best practices. Now, let's first check our answer choices, and then I will explain how this scenario should be handled. Option A says, request that the Scrum Master clarify the scope before continuing the project. Option B says, inform the sponsor that a change request for scope will be added to the next iteration. Option C says, use iterative delivery and prioritize the requirements based on their importance and impact. And option D says, log unclear scope as an issue and escalate it to product owner for decision on unclear requirements. The correct answer to this question is option C, use iterative delivery and prioritize the requirements based on their importance and impact. Let me explain why. So see, please keep that in consideration that we need to answer that as a project manager who is applying the agile best practices in this scenario. Agile best practices, or if I just talk about the Agile Manifesto and its 4 values, or I talk about those 12 Agile principles, they talk about one common thing: productivity, working product, uh, eliminating waste, and like continuous evolvement of the product and value delivery. Whatever we do, the purpose is to ensure the value delivery towards the organization, towards your customer, towards the market. So if we have certain unclear requirements or unclear scope of work, and we have a tight schedule constraint as well, what's the first thing that comes to our mind? That probably is a team, because project manager is also part of the team. If it is agile mindset, project manager is not a separate role. Project manager must also be working along with the development team. So project manager, along with this team and product owner and other stakeholders, would think about prioritization, would think about going iterative and incremental, which is the agile thing, that you prioritize whatever needs to be done as the first thing towards value delivery, and you just get it done, and you make sure that it's being made part of the product. Also, about the unclear requirements, if you go the iterative way, which means sprint and releases, if you go the iterative way and you just like make those unclear requirements part of those iterations in different iterations, depending on their again impact, or how critical they are, how important they are, how much value delivery they are contributing to, that's the best thing to do. That's the most sinful thing to do in this situation, if you are in the agile mindset. Now let's check why other choices are wrong or not the best options. Option A, request that the Scrum Master clarify the scope before continuing the project. This is incorrect. This is a wrong choice. Scrum Master doesn't at all decide what to do, what not to do. This is the team's job to do, along with the product owner and other relevant stakeholders. Scrum Master alone is not the authority to go for that. Scrum Master has other job description, but not this one. Option B is also wrong. Inform that the sponsor inform the sponsor that a change request for the scope will be added in the next iteration. This is going to be not the right thing to do, because you are not really aware about what is missing in those unclear requirements. You need more context for that. And it's not safe to say that let's just do all those requirements in one sprint. Number one. Number two, Agile talks about adaptability, collaboration, and evolvement, like evolvement in a logical way. So on that ground as well, this is not the right thing to do, that you just overwhelm the team with that upfront work in one go, in one iteration. Maybe it's a lot of work to do in one iteration. Maybe it requires little clarity, and that clarity is going to be achieved with progressive elaboration. Maybe, because this is how Agile works. So it's not a safe thing to do. Just to please your sponsor, you just do anything. This is not how Agile works. Now, option D. Option D, it could be a choice of consideration in this scenario. I know some of you have gone for option D. In fact, whenever I present this question to my students, most of them go for D. Let me explain why this option is not better than C. In fact, it's a wrong choice. But some of you would consider it a good choice, but let me explain why. See, option D says log unclear scope as an issue. This part is okay. I have no objection in that, because this unclear requirement is actually an issue in this project. So that part is okay. But the later part of this option is not okay. Escalate it to the product owner for decision. I don't agree with this. Escalate it to the product owner. Why would we escalate the unclear requirements to the product owner? Maybe someone would say that product owner is the owner of the backlog, and he is the sole accountable person for the backlog, and he also prioritizes the backlog, and what goes in the backlog, what doesn't go in the backlog, what's the priority is decided by him. All of this is correct, and I know those who have gone for D, they have gone for it for the same reason. But please don't take things literally when you are in a situation or when you are dealing with a scenario. Context is also important. Although all of that is correct, that product owner is he owns the backlog, he prioritizes, he's a single source of say, or he's a single person to contact about the backlog, but he alone doesn't arrange the backlog. He alone doesn't decide what to go, what not to go, especially in this scenario when you have unclear requirements. He alone is not the authority to decide that what should be done and what should not be done, and what's the priority. Because if he's going to do that, what would be the risk? The risk is that later on the development team is not going to buy that idea. They are not going to own the sprint backlogs and the project success, because they would right away say that our buy-in was not there when the product backlog was being arranged with these unclear requirements. So first of all, right away escalation to product owner is not the right thing to do. The product team, the project manager, the other stakeholders should have their opinion, should have their input towards that. And then they can take it to the product owner, and then they can mutually decide, and they can mutually agree on the priority and like the arrangement of items in the backlog. And then they should be doing that in the iterative and incremental way after prioritization, which is option C. So that's why D is not a fine choice in front of C. I hope you like this explanation. I will be back soon with another PMP scenario and its explanation. Till then, take care and goodbye.